It's on Twitch are so horrible.
Edit stream info now.
Um,
Insights, community, maybe community, no, content.
it's, I believe it's under setting. No, maybe not.
Channel.
If we go to creator dashboard, and it's under one of these, I believe. Where is it?
So auto host channels.
There you go.
From your host list, where's the host list?
It's in the settings. I'm telling you, it's a shit show. And then I think
it's already set up.
Oh, okay, good.
I just want to see if it actually works, though. So it should be live, though, because we're live, right? So
let me see here. UOC beer.
That's just OC beer.
It says you are offline.
Right? So doesn't work.
There's also a way to do it from the Twitch chat in our stream. Hold on. Sound like a bunch of old people.
I know. What channel is the settings?
And what's it called again? Hosting or
auto host? Auto host.
There you go.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. No one's going to watch my channel, but I mean, it's always nice to.
Yeah, I forgot what it was. You type it's like a special, it's like 3 characters, and then you enter the name of the channel, which would be ours.
I'm not streaming currently.
What's up, jerks?
Hi.
Okay, so it's in preferences channel. That's where you were, right?
Yeah, let me go see. Yeah, it's checked. Like auto host channels is checked.
And do you have names listed in there?
Yeah, you, J Holes, and 4 Brewers both listed.
Yeah, I don't know. That's for another day. It's Twitch being Twitch.
It's a pleasant build.
I'm trying not using my my Jabras instead of my big headphones.
My camera looks weird. I'll be right back.
Hey, it's Tim Mather.
Timmy Tim.
Hey there. Sorry.
I turn on my my headphone mic so I can actually hear myself, which makes a big difference.
I thought it'd be nice to not be tethered to the desk because my headphones are wired.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, but these are barely even show up.
Yeah. You can't even, it's like you have a little baby hearing aid or something. Oh, wow. My gain is up so high.
There we go. That's better.
Hey. Hello.
Nice gain.
Hey. Yeah, sorry. The gain
gains,
button
bro.
got hit real bad.
Yeah, just make sure you keep an eye on that level in case you get louder over the course of the show, so you don't clip.
Well,
Regly Niggly. I just tried out a new build using Spotter.
Oh, Spotter's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Works.
I did the technician mod. It's just basically free extra damage. Don't have to do anything.
You just got to wear a chest.
Yeah.
And I found out that the fucking, what is it? The decoy enables Spotter too.
Nice.
If somebody shoots at it, they get spotted.
So what do we want to start with? Do we want to start with I have a Mayberry ready to go on deck. I don't know what you guys got.
I don't think we're going to be able to sync up. We all have a pretty different array.
I think we all had Citra Holics, no?
I have everything you have, John, except for 105.
Okay, I have Citra Holic. So Tim has Citra Holic, and Greg has
I have
Citra Holic.
Citra Holic and Amalgamator, but the El Segundo stuff, I don't have any of the same beers as you guys.
So maybe we should start
Yeah.
with Beechwood then.
Okay.
What'd you just pour, Jason?
Don't worry about it.
Casa
Oh,
Azul.
sorry, God.
It's the blue house.
Never mind.
So should we start recording?
Yeah, I gotta get that.
I am recording. It's
Three.
recording.
Bit.
I am also recording.
Bop. Okay, that's a little high. Yeah.
Hi.
Hey.
I bought the bracelet. I bought it at Binks. That's what looks good.
Recording is started. Good. We're good.
Good. Yep. That seems fine.
All right, so do you want to start with Beechwood then?
Beachwood.
I'll just get those right now.
Which one did you say? Amalgamator or Citra? Oh, we have. Is it both?
Citra Holic.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I can see all both, if that means anything. There's Jason's like stockpiling toilet paper over there.
I think those are paper towels.
Oh, it is.
Can't tell.
Yeah. Finally found out who's hoarding all the toilet paper. It's Jason Harris. It's a pile of it in his house.
We got this one toilet paper. It was like a desperate buy from Amazon. It has so much glue on the first sheet that you rip off like 6 or 7 layers of toilet paper to get the first one. I'm just like, what? You just immediately waste a whole bunch of toilet paper just trying to get it started. It's ridiculous.
I'm just gonna. I don't know if they're taking new signups yet, but I'm gonna shout out to Who Gives a Crap.
Yeah,
It's
they're
an
pretty
excellent service.
good. You know those like those Charmin wet booty wipe things. I subscribed to those on Amazon a long time ago, maybe like last August, and they send them every month. And obviously, we don't use that much, so I have like 6 cases of it, like in my garage somewhere.
You're
Nice.
all set.
If anybody needs some booty wipes, please come by. Get your booty
No.
wiped. Is that toilet paper in the background, Jason?
It's both.
Oh.
Like there is both toilet paper and paper towels back there.
Sweet.
It's just all kinds of cleaning papers. You have any rolling
keep it
papers
somewhere.
back there?
He's got some zigzags.
All the papers.
You got to keep it somewhere, guys. I'm hiding it now. You guys are giving away my stash. I'm gonna get robbed.
Don't give out his address.
There's Ziploc bags too, you guys.
You guys. Hey. What's up, Andy Richter?
Andy is dandy.
Stopping in. Thanks for stopping in. A little 4th of July action.
On this, the day of America's birth. Did you guys watch Hamilton?
I did.
Yep.
I watched most of it.
Yeah, I got to intermission.
It was really good. I mean, I'm a big fan of the show already. I actually had tickets to see it in April, but you know.
Wah,
Yeah. I saw someone on Twitter that I follow. They're usually very, very negative, but I still like the person. They're just a negative person. May have depression issues. I don't know. But they were like, what the fuck am I watching? Or something like that. Something negative, and it said #Hamilton, I think. And Jamie Barlow, he's a home brewer that he's been following me, and I've been following him since like New Brew Thursday days. He was just like, shh, let people enjoy things. It's like, thank you. It's the first day it's on Disney Plus. The whole world is getting to experience this for the first time. A lot of people anyway. Just, can you not right now? Like, just chill. All right.
I mean, if you have an opinion on some sort of art, maybe, if you don't like it, just
Give it a day,
Just give it a
It's-
year.
literally
Honestly,
the day it came
no,
out, like just shitting on it. Like, don't do
Being
that.
the guy who's like, hey, everyone, you're liking this thing? Well, I think it sucks.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like,
And I mean, a
Hey.
lot of people saying, I don't understand the hype behind this. It's like, dude, that dude wrote this entire fucking play. That's something. And if you actually sit through it and pay attention and turn the captions on, read the lyrics, like it's amazing. Like what? It's incredible.
It's really clever. It's really entertaining. Like, yeah, it's just there doesn't need to be fucking something crazy to it. Anytime people are like, I don't get the hype. Who gives a shit? Like, is that how you live your life? You're like, is this hyped or not? I don't know if I should watch it.
Yeah,
it's only worth it if it's hype.
Yeah, hyped enough to buy it.
I have crippling FOMO, so I have to watch everything that was hyped, and I don't see why this was hyped. It was not my taste. Thanks, asshole.
What's up,
Hi,
Martin?
How's Sweden? Probably a lot better off than America right now. I saw a photo of a Swedish prison last week. It looks like a hotel. Pretty plush. That's the right way to rehabilitate people.
I went to IKEA recently. I used to work at IKEA.
I gotta take the road. I gotta take the roadie out to IKEA.
I saw some pictures of lines and I am avoiding IKEA.
Well, they got me addicted to the coffee when I worked there. That's all I did all day. Just drink Swedish coffee.
Yum.
And, oh man, get the sweats, get the heart pumping.
All right,
want to get
started.
Yeah.
Where are we starting again? Citra Holic?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 9% one. That's where we're starting.
7-2.
That's where we're starting, yes.
Oh, no, never mind. It's a
7-2.
Citra Holic was super high ABV. Am I mixing it up with another one? Either way.
Hey, you guys ready?
Yep.
Everyone's recording, right?
Yep.
Jason?
Yep.
Been recording for 5 minutes.
All right. Welcome to the Four Brewers Podcast. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I am joined by
Jason Harris.
Greg Nagel.
And Tim Mather.
And it's the 4th of July. It's America's birthday. We're here. We're here to drink some beer and celebrate.
We're independent.
We're not drinking anything related to the holiday itself, except we're drinking American craft beer. So I guess that's good enough. Before we start with the goodness, we're going to give some shout outs to some new supporters on Patreon. And I made a mistake last week. I said we didn't have any new supporters last week that were new. And I was wrong. Usually when we get a new supporter, I immediately copy their name from the email that Patreon sends us and put in the document. And we had 2 last week that I forgot to do that with. So I want to give a shout out to Kevin Walsh and Sergio Avila for their support on Patreon. That's awesome. And we also have a third, I'm going to say they're new, but they're not new. A third patron that we got, Jay Price. He's actually been a supporter of ours for a long time. He's the only supporter on Patreon that gives us $1.01. So he gives just above the minimum because that's Jay. But
Jay.
Back in April, Jay is Greg's coworker. We
don't know.
Back in April, his card was rejected for some reason. This is very common. This is more of a PSA. That's why I bring Jay up. This is more common than I think a lot of people think. His card was rejected back in April, and he didn't catch it because for April and May. So they tried to charge him for March, April and May. We didn't release anything, and so he didn't find out until this month when we started charging people again that his card was denied, and they sent him a notification, but he missed it. So this happens all the time. My card was rejected this month on the 1st. My Apple card. Even though I have the Four Brewers Patreon that gets charged to my card, and then my own personal Patreon that I support people with. My personal went through. The Four Brewers one did not go through. I don't know why. It's just very common. I had to go through and tell Apple or Goldman Sachs, yes, this is a legit charge.
It's an
pain.
international charge, and I think if you don't tell your bank that like it's legit, like they'll ask you, send you an email sometimes, like, "Hey, is this international charge good?" And like Capital One's big on this. They're like, they'll turn it off and reject it the next time. So
I didn't know that Patreon was had like an international tag on it. That would make sense then, because
it happened to mine.
It's just a big problem. So I mean, it's not a big problem, but it's a big enough problem to where if you're a creator on Patreon, you know about it and you're well aware of it. So, if just keep your eyes open. A lot of times too, I will send a message to the person that got rejected because it tells us who got rejected. And I'll say, hey, your card was declined. Maybe you want to check it out. And sometimes people don't respond and they never update their card, and that's fine. They're just kind of ghosting us, and that's okay. If you don't want to like actually,
He
just
says
stop
passive
supporting them.
aggressively. Fuck.
Exactly.
That's fine, I guess. I mean, I'm just your mother, and I've been slaving over it all day. But whatever you want to do, it's your job.
So yeah, thanks to those new supporters, and thanks Jay for renewing your credit card information on Patreon. We said last month that we were going to donate everything that we raised in the month of June to Black Lives Matter causes. We still haven't received the money. We usually get it the 5th or 6th day of the beginning of every month, but it looks like we're going to be donating over $600 to
Sweet.
whatever
That's
we
awesome.
choose. Yeah,
Nice.
I thought that's a pretty good number for coming back
Yeah.
after 2 months of not, charging anything for shows.
It's a good chunk.
On that vein too, I want to make a shout out to Don't Drink Beer did like a huge Black Lives Matter fundraiser, and he made like $70,000, which is super cool of him to use his
Amazing.
influence for that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Good on him.
And then I just got Jerry Conway, who's the co-creator of the Punisher character, and he's the creator of the Punisher skull logo. Really doesn't like the way that it's been appropriated by like shithead white supremacist assholes, and he did a fundraiser selling shirts. I actually just got mine.
Oh,
the
you
Punisher,
did?
the Black Lives Matter Punisher shirts.
I ordered the same
that's
one. I wonder
sick.
if mine came in the
Dope.
mail.
And yeah, he raised over $77,000 for Black Lives Matter through that,
Good
which
on
is
him.
really fucking cool.
Yeah,
And it's a good
that's
way
awesome.
to take the logo back from shitheads too. Like,
Exactly. So yeah, again, thank you to everyone who signed up on Patreon and all of our past patrons that are sticking with us. It's really awesome that you're doing that. We can't thank you enough, especially having so many new people come on in June and us being able to donate this money. It's not a lot. I mean, relatively speaking, to people that are rich that are donating millions of dollars, but for us, it's a good chunk of change. So we thank you very much to
It's a
everyone.
lot of beer.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, if you want to support the show, you can go to supporttheshitoutofit.com. You can give us your money. And I don't know if we're doing a glass this year. I haven't even thought about it. Like all the stuff that's been going on, it didn't occur to me that we have to come up with a supporter glass. So I guess I'll have to get on that. So yeah, thank you again to everyone who signed up on Patreon. You guys are awesome. Got a new review up on Apple Podcasts. This is a 5-star review. It's titled 5 stars only. And it says, the current 4 are cool. They have a unique point of view on beer. If they don't like it, they're not afraid to say it. Casual, and I can usually agree with them. And that was from Hell is Short for Yuma. That's their name. So that's cool. I think that was in response to the 4-star review. That is still a 4-star review on Apple Podcasts that has yet to be changed, saying that the current 4 people are cool and we don't need Matt to be a good podcast. And of course, I'm busting balls on that review, but I'm going to bring it up every week because I think it's fun.
Real quick too, at the top of the show, it is not within our theme at all. I always have kind of my like pre-show beer that I'm drinking.
Same.
And I want to shout out, I got a care package from Ardent Ales, or Ardent, not Ales, in Richmond, Virginia. And they sent me a bunch of super sweet Pilsners. This Italian Pilsner is fucking dope. And it makes me sad that I am not closer to Virginia because it is the most drinkable, like just good hop flavor, great malt. Super fucking good. So shout out.
I am
to Ardent.
also enjoying an Italian Pils from Los Angeles. The Pleasant Pils beer from Highland Park Brewery. Personal
Awesome.
favorite.
That's awesome.
Delicious.
Cool, man. Well, I don't have a pre-show beer. I just have the beer that we're going to drink right now. That's Citra Holic from Beachwood Brewing. And the theme this week is not really a theme. We're just showcasing 2 really awesome SoCal breweries, which is
Kind of some greatest hits.
Yeah, Beechwood Brewing, and then an old favorite of ours, El Segundo Brewing Company. Beechwood Brewing is out of Long Beach, California, and Huntington Beach. They originated in Seal Beach with a really small restaurant that they actually just announced that they're going to be closing due to basically the way business is going right now. And even if they wanted to reopen that place, it's like the size of my living room. It's so tiny. Like the bar, the space between the bar and the wall that separates the bar area from the dining area, it's like 6 feet. It's super, super tiny. So
Literally the saddest thing ever too. Beechwood Seal Beach was sort of my early stomping grounds with beer and good food too. I've been to so many events there, like Swansea Day. I went to a few times. Always with killer events there. It's really sad that they're gone. They're sort of like probably the best craft beer bar in Orange County for as many years as I can remember. Any top 10 list, they're always number one. Nobody beats them. So they're gone. That sucks.
I know for me, I mean, I'm part of the problem, which is that I haven't been to Seal Beach in years, right? Because I'd rather go to the Long Beach.
Yeah,
like
the sleepy
the
town.
store is bigger. They have food. They have. I guess they both have food, but it's a little bit easier to get to, and there's more stuff nearby, and you have Blendery next door and everything. And so it's kind of like, well, with Long Beach having so much more to offer, Seal Beach is like a nostalgia thing, but you're kind of like, I don't want to trek out to Seal Beach for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I can count on one hand how many times I've been to Beechwood Seal Beach. For the exact same reason. It's they're not that far apart, Seal Beach and Long Beach, but if you're going to go all the way out there from my neck of the woods, might as well just go to Long Beach because, I mean, yeah, it's not that it's better. It's just I think I'd rather go there than Seal Beach. And the cool thing about Seal Beach, again, they started off as like a really, excuse me,
the seals.
Yeah, the seals are the best thing about Seal Beach. I don't think there are seals on Seal Beach, are there?
Never seen a seal there.
It's more of like an industrial.
I've seen boobs on the beach before there. That was a special time in my life.
Sweet.
That's where I learned how to surf.
No wonder you're so nostalgic about it.
I learned how to surf in Seal Beach.
First place I saw a titty, so pretty sweet.
Also, Seal Beach has 320 Main, which is one of the best cocktail bars in Orange County as well. So on that little strip there was the best beer bar and the best cocktail bar, like within walking distance. That's cool. Now there's just one, so there's still a reason to go. But
yeah, I've literally only been there once, and that was to meet up with like the crew hung out around the Beer Mule, David.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was in a situation where you were, but it was like Steven and his crew with David.
I was slightly involved, and then the thing with them is
I wasn't starting drama.
Well, it's not drama. It's they would go out and they would fucking drink. They'd be out until 4 a.m. drinking, and that's not my style at all.
Oh yeah.
And so I never got involved with them. It wasn't a drama thing. So that's the only reason. And so
they were too hard for you.
That crew does roll super hard.
Oh, thick.
If you don't have a DD, it's not a.
I hung out with them once at Bootleggers, and everybody was like 3 sheets to the wind and eating pizzas and just knocking back pints of knuckle sandwich like it was a lager. It was crazy.
What I do remember is like I liked how small and cozy it felt, but to Jason's point, like especially for me coming from like West LA, like shooting down to Long Beach is so much easier.
For sure.
Plus, just more space. So it's unfortunate because, like you said, it's definitely a nostalgic sort of establishment that's been around. It sounds like I didn't know, but it sounds like that was their first place. So that's obviously always a little hard.
Yeah, 13 years or something, 14 years, and then
that was.
Oh, good.
That was one of my like first introductions to like not the beer scene, but like the beer culture. Because they had like basically they have a cellar both at Beechwood, Long Beach, and Seal Beach, but Seal Beach is where they started, and so you could go there and you can get something fresh on tap. But they also had cellared beer that they really geeked out on, and that was like a thing that really wasn't happening a whole lot back then when they first opened, and aside from them having really good food and awesome craft beer, that whole them being a part of the beer culture back then is also what put them on the map. And then
it was also
once they opened Long Beach and Julian Schrago got involved, like it's just over. Like okay, they're awesome.
It was also the birthplace of the CO2 draft wall where he could dial in the CO2 for each keg that they had.
Yeah, the flux capacitor.
It was the birthplace of that, and that a lot of beer bars worldwide have adopted that for places that serve weird kegs from around the world. They're able to fix the CO2 issues on the fly and serve like perfect pours instead of like blowing out half their keg because it's overly carbed or something like that. So
I still can't quite wrap my head around the whole CO2 nitro balance thing. And that's something that Gabe came up with. And yeah, it's pretty cool to see if you've never seen it. It's like a wall of dials and hoses, and it's you just look at it and go, what the fuck is that? And Gabe knows what he's looking at. So
in my world, the appropriate balance is 0 nitro and 100% CO2.
Well, it has to do with
I know,
like math and like chemicals and
I just don't
stuff.
I just don't like nitro beer. I'm just throwing that in there, sticking a little knife at nitro beer.
Right. So we're sorry to see Seal Beach close, but it's a sign of the times at this point. Beechwood also had an employee that contracted coronavirus in their Long Beach location. So I think they're going to shut down for a week. Everyone, I believe, was tested, but they're going to go back again because I think the protocol is if you're in, if you're getting tested, period, and you think you were in contact with someone, you should get tested once and then wait. And then like 2 weeks, I believe, and then get tested again just to make sure. So they're going through all the proper channels, taking all the proper precautions to make sure that everything is safe for their employees and their customers. And I mean, right now, things are still up in the air. Places are shutting down. There's a lot of arguments happening right now with tasting rooms not being allowed to have outdoor seating, but wineries can have outdoor seating and food. And
well, wineries have always had their own rule set. Like that's been I don't know. I'm sure it's a problem elsewhere in the country, but it's a problem in California as long as forever.
It just shows how much of a mess everything still is. And we had 3 months to do something about it, and nothing was like there was no plan put in place. So it really sucks to own a brewery right now and try to stay afloat. Bagby is still not open. They're still like, yeah, we're still waiting to see what happens. We have plans. We're making changes, which I applaud them for.
That's so good. Yeah.
They're doing the best out of all the breweries. Luckily, they're able to stay closed as far as, serving food and whatnot goes. Are they like a production brewery in terms of like, do they bottle and sell beer places?
No,
I think they just do kegs.
Crowlers and kegs.
They send kegs out, but yeah, they don't package.
I'm sure it's tough to be in a military town. There's a huge military presence in Oceanside, so God knows it's easier to close up than to fight every customer over wearing a mask and not. So a lot of places are doing that, and
yeah,
it's the world we live in now.
If you're going to go out,
depressing news.
Yeah, just to wrap things up.
We could spend 20 minutes more being really sad.
Just to wrap things up, if you're going to go out, if you're going to go out, please wear a mask. Like, just do it. Just it's
PSA.
It's selfish to not wear a mask. You're helping yourselves and your community by doing that. So that being said, we're going to move on to the beer and have some fun. So yeah, we're drinking Citra Holic from Beechwood. Beechwood, I believe they just started canning, I want to say a year and a half ago when they bought
Beach City.
When they bought Beach City in Huntington Beach, they brought in a canning line there, and they just went for it. So luckily for us, these beers are all readily available in our local areas, and we're pretty far spread out in Southern California. So we have a lot of some overlap on the beers we're going to be drinking today. So, but the Beechwood beers are the most common because they're the most accessible. And not to ignore El Segundo, we're going to be going there soon too. But El Segundo is out of the South Bay, Torrance. Is that correct?
Just say by El Segundo.
Just El Segundo.
El Segundo. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
They're out of the El Segundos.
Yeah, they're out of El Segundo, which is in the
by
South
LAX.
Bay. Is Long Beach also in the South Bay, considered South Bay? I think it is. No,
it's in between LAOC.
Okay.
Torrance is officially South Bay.
But yeah, we'll be going to El Segundo soon. So, Citra Holic. Details on this beer.
They have a pretty chill pickup setup for El Segundo. Actually, both El Segundo and Beechwood both have a nice, like, order your beer online, go pick it up at the place. They have it all ready for you. So if you do want to go to the brewery, they have a really good to-go system set up. Crowlers and all that stuff with lots of cool variety.
A couple weeks ago, you got a crap ton.
Yeah, I did. I only have one crowler left of that 13% IPA, and I didn't want to drink it at 1:30 p.m. I was like, look, the night is too young or the day is too young for a 13% IPA.
Woo!
Yeah. So Citra Holic from Beechwood. This is 7.1%, 70 IBUs, and it's made with Citra, Warrior, Columbus, and Simcoe hops. And as far as the malts go, it's American Two-Row and honey malt. I didn't know there was honey malt in this. It makes sense. This is about as quintessential West Coast as you can get for an IPA. Like this is no frills, no messing around. Jillian is one of the best West Coast, one of the best IPA brewers out there. I mean, he brews everything well, but he's very, very well known for his hoppy beer, and this beer is awesome.
Yeah, Citra Holic is one of those beers that we'll amalgamate her too. It's like if you want a good West Coast IPA, you can find these in grocery stores. You can find them at liquor stores, and they're always super fresh and they're always delicious. They sort of compete with Swamis in my land. I don't know. It's like,
see, out this far, I only can find them at like the good beer stores still.
Okay.
Like their distro is still pretty limited. So you're pretty close to the production brewery. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they get more out. But out here, it's like I had to go, 20 minutes over to the good beer store so I could find it.
I can get Beechwood at the shitty Chevron station down the street. The only thing is, God, this place annoys me. This is why they're shitty. They overprice their beer, but they have a really good selection. And then sometimes something new will come out, and they'll put it in the cold box. I'll grab it, and I'll go to the counter and like, oh, this isn't in the system yet. I'm like, so I can't buy it.
So it's
They're
free.
Like, no, just
so
you have to get something else. I'm like, why would you put it on the shelf if it's not in the system? Like, this is so stupid. So anytime they get something new from Beechwood, it's okay. I'm going to give it a week so they can put it in their system. Because if I dare buy it, like I'm the only one buying it apparently. But I can get this local. I can get it 5 minutes from my house, which is dope.
It seemed a little. I had the local shops that I'm trying to get my beer from that I know have contactless or curbside or delivery. They all were pretty well stocked with El Segundo, but Beechwood was a little difficult to find.
Scant.
These two.
The point is, it's like it was difficult to find, but you still found it.
Yeah. I ended up getting a lead from a friend and postmating some beer, which was pretty sick, although also overpriced, but still.
I just learned about like you can postmate stuff to someone else's house. Like I didn't know you could do that.
All right, John's
ordering. If you're at a party or something, think about it.
John's ordering beer for all the shows now.
Well, who was it? Someone sent. It was Tom Merritt from Daily Tech News Show. On his birthday, Justin Robert Young he asked Tom what his favorite bourbon was, I believe, and he then bought it and had it sent to Tom via Postmates. And Tom had it an hour later. You can send a cool gift idea.
You can send an Uber to someone. Why not send a bottle of bourbon?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Boom, bourbon.
Send me bourbon, please.
Well, thoughts on this beer? I had I did a video yesterday for some Cellar Maker beer. Last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, we talked about maybe getting some Cellar Maker beer because they go on sale once a week. They have different options that you can buy. And the one that I got was the Glow and some Orange Julian, I believe. Yeah, Orange Julian. And the Glow, if you have not had it from Cellar Maker, is fantastic. It is a very candy forward, hazy IPA. Easy to drink, super smooth. It's really good. I'm probably going to put the video out later today, but I bring that up because right after I had that beer, I had a Citra Holic, and wow, what a contrast! That beer was so candy-like and typical hazy IPA, well-made hazy IPA. That when I went to Citra Holic, I got all sorts of dank, earthy grass notes on the nose. It was just magnified heavily. It was bizarre to the point where I'm like, is this okay?
Does this beer come off a little hot to you guys? To me, I've always thought this was a boozy beer, even though it's the same. It's right in the IPA sweet spot. I mean, before the show, I was like, it's 9%, right? And I was like, wait, it's only 7? Okay, I guess so.
7.2, I think. I get the super dank, grassy, and a little bit of a peppery finish on the mouthfeel. It's sort of like crushed black pepper, but that sort of sets it apart from other IPAs. There's no other IPA where I go, there's some peppery thing happening on top of the tropical dank Citra Warrior action.
I haven't heard of honey malt before. Can someone explain what that one is?
It's just like a little bit sweeter, like more sweeter than like regular 2-row. I don't know why it's sweeter. It's not like a kilning thing, I don't believe, but actually it could be. Maybe it's just like a little bit darker than 2-row, but you use it basically to add a little bit more body and sweetness. Not like a caramel malt where you're adding like a toffee character or like a kilned character.
Raisiny.
Yeah, apparently they have I just looked it up, and they have a special malting process where it gets a little bit of a sweet flavor, but without the roasted or astringent flavors. So it's kind of like getting caramel malt without the caramel. So just getting the sweet part, hence the honey kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
right.
I was curious because I tend to get like Greg mentioned, the kind of the peppery. I get that bitter bite that you expect from the West Coast on the kind of the aftertaste that lingers, but I feel like it's got a subtle sweetness to it as well that hangs out. And I was just curious about, it seems like that might be part of it.
Likely that's what you're getting from the honey malt.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they're using it. It's an intentional thing where maybe the malt character was a bit lackluster and they didn't want to add caramel malt. So, okay, we'll throw some honey malt in there and see if that will kind of boost everything up for the malt characteristics. And it makes sense. I mean, when it's a bare bones recipe that consists of just 2-row, it's like, well, that's cool if you can pull it off with all those hops and just 2-row. But if you can't, and you don't want to add caramel malt, honey malt sounds like a good option.
I think the little changes there, right, which is like, this beer would probably be like 90% as good if they just threw 2-row in it and called it a day, right? But like, I think the little tweaks like that are the kinds of things that really separate the good producers from the like great top tier beer producers, right?
Absolutely. I think the flavor profile is this IPA in particular, as well as other Beechwood IPAs, is that they sort of amplify. They're very bold, and the flavors and aromas are very amplified compared to the other IPAs. I don't know if it's just a house character. Like even their stouts, like when I go to Beechwood Long Beach, I'm like, let me have a Kilgore stout, and it's like super bold and sort of smoky, and it's got like, it's pretty big and in your face, which I appreciate. The flavors all sort of hit you in the face.
Julian Trago makes it look very easy to make beer. And even when you talk to him, like you wouldn't think he's brewing some of the best beers in America. Like he's just so down to earth and cool, like a cool guy, kind of like chill vibe. And the dude is like a wealth of knowledge. He knows so much about making beer and such a stellar brewer. Like it's crazy.
But yeah, the hop character in this is really like, this beer speaks to what I like about a West Coast IPA versus the hazy side, which is just like the hops are front and center. They have a big flavor. It's very prominent. And like, you could pick this out. You're like, that's Citra, right? Like you can get the character of the hop and it really shines. And they're not trying to like sand it off and get the edges off and smooth it out. It's just like, nope, here's a big, bold hop character. And to me, especially, it's fucking hot today. It's like going to be probably 100 degrees on this, the day of America's birth. And this is a perfect beer.
Wow.
Do you guys get any kind of
high accolades?
Do you get any kind of Simcoe character on it? I'm assuming they're using the Simcoe as like an aroma hop.
No, I think that's where that danky kind of character is coming from. Citra is generally just bright, and then this does have like a dankiness in the background. I think Simcoe and Columbus are both pretty danky hops. I actually really like Columbus. I'm one of the weird ones that likes Columbus hopped IPA.
See, I'm thinking Columbus and Warrior were used for bittering. I mean, Columbus is a good like flavor and aroma hop, I think, generally speaking, but like Matt is the guy that uses Columbus for bittering because it's a high alpha or semi-high alpha hop, but it's still pretty good for everything else too. You can't really go wrong with it.
Doesn't Beechwood do first wort hopping as well on all their IPAs? I think that's a thing that they do. First wort or mash hopping. I'm not sure.
I don't think you could say they do it for every beer or every IPA, but
I thought I read that in an article early on when he was making like Melrose IPA as a home brewer. That was like one of his
maybe
signature techniques is like either first wort or throwing flowers in the mash.
They've kind of phased that one out, huh? I haven't seen that beer in a while. Melrose?
Yeah, I think it's a special release. I don't know. That was like his homebrew that got him famous enough to be a pro brewer.
I didn't realize that. I remember it, and I was like, I haven't seen that one in a couple of years, but that's cool to know that was his homebrew recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at Untapped, the last check-in for Melrose was 19 hours ago. So, still around.
Where the fuck did you buy that?
Like Pizza Port does the same thing where they do the Shark Bite beer. They don't actually really distribute anymore, but it's still available in all the pubs.
Right. So that might be the case, yeah. Yeah. So you guys want to move on to an El Segundo beer or stick with Beechwood?
I've got a
that's
Gundo
the only
Port.
Beechwood I got.
One at a time, guys. What?
That's the only Beechwood I have.
Okay. And Jason, you opened a Gundo?
Excuse me.
What is that?
Casa Azul. We don't match up on much of the El Segundo stuff, so.
Okay. Then, Tim, you have a Mayberry, right?
John, I got the same ones you do.
So I'm going to grab a Mayberry. So Tim, grab a Mayberry, and then Jason and Greg will be the outliers. I'll be right back.
Outliers. Okay. I was waiting to see what his adjective was for us. They are the
It's handy that we were able to get
outliers.
It's handy that we got that independent.
Yeah, I got the independent.
Yeah,
John
how
said he
perfect.
didn't have a 4th of
Did you get
July
it too?
themed beer, but he
Yeah.
has the.
Okay.
But yeah, he said he didn't have a 4th of July themed beer, but you have the independent, which is
I
like
do.
I have the independent.
I have that too. Damn it.
It's a very 4th of July themed beer.
So I'm going to do my wild card, which is Blurred Lines.
I'll do them. We got the Mayberry right now.
I got a lot of positive responses to the photo I posted on Instagram or Twitter promoting this live session about Mayberry. Like people were like, "Oh, you got Mayberry."
Mayberry's dope.
I guess I take this beer for granted.
Yeah, it was like it was pretty widely available at everywhere that I was trying to get things from. The only problem was that like my issue was most of the places that I could order online from were all either 4 or 6 packs. I'm like, I don't need that much beer.
Yeah, luckily La Bodega. Well, I'll just get into it later. La Bodega had
Sure.
They had 2 6-packs of Mayberry, and then Hammerland, and then they had singles of the other ones. So it's like sweet.
Dude,
I don't have to buy.
La Bodega and Windsor Homebrew Supply, the unofficial sponsors of the Brewers podcast.
I used to get discounts at La Bodega just for being on a podcast, and that stopped. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I didn't have to pay tax. It was like a 10% discount. So
yeah, I think Windsor gives me a little. If I go, hey, this is on the show, and I mention you, he's like, oh, Nagel, I'm going to give you a back order real quick. And like, no thanks, man. I'm just kidding. He does. So I got some Blurred Lines, which is like a mock hazy.
Yeah, we're moving on to El Segundo. Blurred Lines. I don't believe I've had that beer, Greg. Enlighten me.
Yeah, it was my first go at it as well. I drank it out of the can last night, and it was delicious. I didn't realize it was a hybrid IPA.
Like a hybrid West Coast meets hazy kind of thing, right? I've had it before.
So, I mean, it is pretty hazy in my dirty Pilsner glass, but I mean, I can see my fingers shadow through it, but that's about it. It's definitely not.
Would you call
clear.
it blurry?
It's a blurry IPA.
A blurry IPA.
It's a blurry, semi-blurry IPA with a lot of.
Is it West Coast
fluffy white
blurry
head.
or East Coast blurry?
Easily 2 fingers ahead on there. I think it's more West Coasty. Wow, very tropical. Big pineapple, papaya. Some like brown sugar notes. Smells almost like pineapple Dole Whip
Oh, okay.
that you get from like Disneyland.
Dole Whip.
A Dole Whip. Man, it smells really good.
Yeah, Tim and myself have Mayberry, which is a 100% Mosaic IPA. I brought this up earlier while we were transitioning to El Segundo, when I posted the photo on Twitter of this promoting this recording session, like I got 2 or 3 responses that were like, "Oh, Mayberry, hell yeah, that's the goat, man." I'm like, "Oh shit, I think I take this beer for granted. I see it all the time, and I just don't buy it." So, but yeah, 100% Mosaic IPA. That's pretty dope. Like that's a great hop for IPA.
Yeah, and it's pretty mellow compared to the Citra Holic that we just had in terms of like the bite. It's got a really kind of, I don't want to say tropical, but like a berry-esque aroma going on. Like it's sweet, but not overtly. And I feel like the bite is obviously a bit more subdued than the Citra Holic.
I think the Citra Holic was definitely going for that big, impactful, like West Coast punch, as far as the bitterness goes, and like getting that, big citrus character. Obviously, being a Citra hopped IPA. I think Mosaic tends to be a little smoother, I think, around the edges, and I think that's why it's so popular, because you get that West Coast feel if it's made in a West Coast IPA, but without like that harshness. And it comes down to what you like when it comes to West Coast IPA. But the cool thing with Mosaic is you can use it very well, like easily in a hazy too, and get like really good results. So it's a very versatile hop, and I think that's why it's popular.
Yeah, mine has Citra and Mosaic in it, and it's interestingly enough of how tropical it smells. It comes off more of like a lemon bar, like lemon meringue pie. There's a very like clear like lemony character to it, like a lemon drop cocktail or something. It's very lemony, which is interesting, and it's very hazy IPA forward as far as the flavor, mouthfeel, the finish on it. Very like clean and pleasant though. It's got a little hot bitterness to it. It's very well done.
So
check it out.
I mean, as far as like, so it's a hybrid West Coast hazy.
Mm-hmm.
What are the defining characteristics for like the West Coast part of it? Like if there are any.
I think I can definitely taste. It's not a hop schmear. There's definitely Mosaic and Citra. It's very tropical.
Okay.
I could pick the hops out. The candy like thing from the Mosaic and that tropical sort of dank thing from the Citra is very, very evident. Really delicious.
Mine has no hops at all.
I want to know about. I've had that before. That's their like the riff on a Mexican lager, right?
It's an amber lager. Apparently, they won gold at GABF for it on in the amber lager category.
Oh, it's an Oscura.
And in case we missed it, Jason's drinking. He's drinking Casa Azul from
Casa Azul. Yeah.
El Segundo.
And it's brewed with Pilsner malt, Weyermann Abbey malt, and Crystal 150. Weyermann Abbey malt being like a dark malt that's meant to be used in like Abbey ales and Trappist beers, which is kind of cool that they used in something else. And I mean, like they say if malt is your game, this lager is your huckleberry, and yeah, pretty much, man. It's got kind of that nice bready, little bit of sweetness, not a ton of caramel, not a ton of like cloyingness. Just
to clarify, this is a Vienna lager, right?
It's an amber lager, is what they refer to it as.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, it's just a nice, malt forward beer. I think if you like Fat Tire, this would be a really good beer for you. Like that kind of.
I'm pretty sure I had Casa Azul the last time I was at the brewery in El Segundo, and that was several years ago. But I definitely remember really enjoying it because it was very drinkable. And it was hard, like you said, being an amber, it was a little hardier than say, Pilsner, which was really nice.
Yeah,
I mean, one of those like liquid bread kind of beers.
Mm-hmm. And their logo, if I'm wrong, for El Segundo is a blue house, right?
Yep.
A Casa Azul.
Yeah, it used to be on their tap handles and stuff. I'm not sure if there's any more
languages.
Yeah.
They I was reading the side of the can. Apparently El Segundo is referred to as Mayberry by the Sea, and I'm pretty sure it's referring to the Andy Griffith Show, like a super quiet, nice town by the sea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of their beers are just a little local reference, and if you look at their labels, actually, there's stuff that you see looking around the town. even just going to the brewery, you're like, oh hey, there's that tower from the tower whatever beer.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
maybe
or
it
power
has like
plant.
a clock on it. Like it looks like it's a clock that you would see somewhere in El Segundo.
Yeah, like a small town main street. I mean,
Right.
they've got the crude, and then is it the one named after the runway? I can't remember which one it is. Like 110 left or 210 left or something like that.
Yeah, it's right by
105.
LAX.
Yeah, it's something weird like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're right by the 105 freeway, but they're also surrounded by refineries.
Yeah, which is the crude.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of El Segundo, that's what I think of is refineries. Like it's,
Mhm.
I mean, as far as owning a business there and like whatnot, fine. But as far as living there, it just seems like somewhere I'd never want to live just because.
Yeah, exactly. Jet
Have you-
fuel and fuel.
Yeah.
Well, surrounded by fuel.
Did any of you guys ever been to the Rockin' Brews, which is like on the corner, caddy corner, or across the street from the brewery?
Yeah,
I have been there. Yeah.
We would go there once in a while.
I thought it was pretty cool when I went there, but
it's
probably like 7 or 8 years ago.
It's super
Rockin' Brews is
kitschy.
cool for what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like super kitschy. I think isn't like Gene Simmons like one of the investors or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's super kitschy, and it's just like, it's not exactly like the highest quality, but like their beer selection was pretty insane, and they had a really nice outdoor patio. So it's like, it's kid friendly.
I think you know what you're getting into when you walk up to the place. It's like
They
eating
bought
at the
their
Hard Rock
tickets.
Hotel or something. Like,
Like-
or-
Imagine the Hard Rock Cafe without the memorabilia budget,
right.
and that's Rockin' Brews.
That's so.
They're like,
We
We
don't
don't
have
have any
Metallica's
Kurt Cobain
guitars. We have Metallica's logo on the wall.
Like we have a Paul Stanley guitar in the back.
We have a framed album.
They don't even have Kiss memorabilia. They're just like, yeah,
Like we paid Metallica $20,000 to license their logo to put on the wall, and that's all you get.
Nice.
and they have like an MTV, like a full 24-hour video
Yep.
stream.
Yep. All
Really?
these like retro rock music videos are always playing in the
Wow.
background behind the bar and like around the. Yeah. Anyway,
I did one at an airport for a very long time.
Oh yeah. I forgot it's in the Southwest terminal, I think.
I'm not sure in Ontario. Yeah, I think it is Southwest.
Oh no, I was
cool.
talking about LAX. There's one in LAX too.
Oh well, they're really branching out their airport game. Are they
So-
in the LA Indian casinos too? Because they're
It's
at one of
funny how many breweries end up in airports, though. They're like, that's their, they try to spread the love of like the local scene or whatever in an airport. Like John Wayne here in Orange County has like the Ducks Pavilion thing where there's the Anaheim Ducks. And I think a brewery that will not be named is in there, as well as like when you go to Denver as well, there's like local breweries and stuff you can get. It's pretty cool.
But I mean, I don't know about other airports in the. Sorry, this is totally sidetracking. But the only one that I know about in LAX happens to be an LA themed one that shall not be named.
Right.
That is a shiny metallic color that you walk on.
A shiny
Exactly.
metallic color that you walk on. Follow the yellow brick road.
I was
There
like,
you go.
if there was a brewery in LAX, it's of course it's Meg. The
I mean,
Meg.
more. I don't know.
Area codes.
I mean, hate aside, I guess at least there's a brewery there.
Matthew Brindleson
I mean,
with your
it's better than
805.
It's better than Carl's Jr., I guess.
To be quite honest, if I were in LAX and that's all I had access to, I would totally go there and get a beer. Like
They,
Yeah, it's
It
7
has-
a.m.
but it has a robot. What's the person who stands out front? Like
I am
robot
Miguel.
hostess.
Can I get you a beer?
Yeah, it looks like that, like the Honda robot just hanging out outside, and I believe it's got a touch screen that you can like put your reservation in or something.
What area
my
code are you from?
Push the left nipple for an IPA.
Greg making it creepy.
I want to. Yeah, Greg always makes it weird.
It's a robot.
Doesn't mean you should
feel.
fondle it.
I'm a simple man. If I see a robot, I grab its titties. It's not harassment if it's a robot.
It's a light switch, okay, Jason? You
All
just
right.
turn it on and off.
So moving on.
Oh man.
Rip.
Okay, where to now, guys? Back to Beechwood?
I've got an amalgamator on my desk, so
Ditto.
Do it.
Let me
I'm
grab
still
one.
enjoying my Blurred lines. Blurred lines.
Remember that song? The song sucks so bad.
It's like a rape anthem, right?
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
that
it was
sucks.
it was
That's an
basically
unfortunate beer
recorded
name.
in like a 24-hour Coke binge.
Probably.
It was very catchy. I mean,
Yeah,
for what it is.
I
The
wanna
catchy
hump
part
ya.
was the sample that they bought. Like the song itself was just like whatever, but like it just had a really cool like funky beat from a old 70s song, and then they're like, oh, that's really catchy, and then we'll just have Alan Thicke's Fail Son fucking come out here.
He made a grip off that, I hope.
My brother's on Facebook saying we need to go back to more robot talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Like that
pretty
we have
st-
family members watching.
Pretty soon, robots are just going to be taking care of the restaurants.
They'd be taking care of all of us, my friend.
Wasn't Nathan Thicke or whatever sued over that song because the
Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke? Yeah, whatever.
Tell me thick.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You said like they bought that sample, but I'm pretty sure they were sued for being too close to the original song.
Okay, so even worse, they just stole a sample.
Yeah, that's what it
Yes.
comes down to.
And then didn't make a dime off of it.
That's good.
What?
Do.
I'm like 90% sure.
What?
Were you
I put
mocking me?
myself on mute, and then they did the scat man.
Oh.
No, it has nothing to do with anything you were saying. I was just being a dipshit.
I was like, because I turned my mic off.
Okay, everyone ready?
Yep.
Okay, so up next. What the
Queso.
Who was that?
He has sound effects for zooming.
Give a slide whistle.
I wish. That would be epic.
All right, so up next from Beechwood, we're drinking Amalgamator, and this is a pretty well-known West Coast IPA here in Southern California. I have an Amalgamator T-shirt, actually, which
It's an amalgam of hops.
there you
Dude,
go.
this logo would make an epic T-shirt. I love this one.
Well, it's a good thing they have a T-shirt, and you can buy one.
I
With
should
this
probably
logo
get on
on
that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this cool, like abstract mosaic hop kind of thing.
it's like
Not
made
mosaic.
of triangle geometric. Yeah,
The hop style, although mosaic, the hop style's on there, so that might be a play on it. But
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's what it is, yeah.
I've got
yeah.
I've got a major soft spot for like geometric shaped art, so it's like right
Same.
up my alley.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's
Um,
geometric, so it'd be you have a hard because it's not soft, you know. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
hard
got-
lines, really
got hard
obvious
lines,
shapes.
but you have a soft spot for it.
Yeah, exactly. Soft
You gotta
spot for the hard
You
lines.
could have a hard spot for it.
A
So
hard
this
spot
is-
for the soft line.
This is something
Yes.
interesting that I
Blurred
haven't
lines.
really noticed before. Citra Holic and Amalgamator look to be the same exact beer. They both have the same malt bill. They have the same hop bill, but instead of Citra,
Holy
it's
shit.
Mosaic instead of
Simcoe.
Citra.
Well,
Everything
instead of Simcoe, it's Amarillo.
yeah,
Oh, you're right.
Everything else is virtually identical.
You're right. So just to
Oh, that's
clarify,
awesome.
Citra Holic had Citra, Warrior, Columbus, and Simcoe, and Amalgamator has Mosaic, Warrior, Columbus, and Amarillo.
Note that they are also the same ABV IBU.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Sweet.
cool.
So just switch up a hop and call it a new beer. I like it. I mean, I'm sure I can already tell, like, it's even just off of the aroma alone. It's obviously like
It's a Beechwood beer, right?
it's a Beachwood
I think
beer,
it was
but it's
a
changed.
really good call to go from the Mayberry back to this because this is also a Mosaic IPA, which luckily I saved my Mayberry so I can actually compare the two side by side to see if I get the same hop qualities on the nose.
I'm gonna do the
This
same
one
thing.
is huge mosaic. Like this is big mosaic character to me.
Yeah, this is lots of berries.
Yeah. That kind of sweet candy thing, like just big. I love the mosaic hop. I've said it on the show 100 times. And this beer is a great use of it. Like, fuck yeah. Beechwood just knocks it out of the park every time. I'll buy
Interesting.
anything Beechwood makes.
This beer is similar to the Mayberry in that again, I like to refer to I always say it rounds off the edges, but it's that's what it is. It's not as sharp as Citra Holic. It's not as biting, not as aggressive, I guess.
100% agree with that. Like after taking a sip of Citra Holic, you feel the lingering hop bitterness, and this one, I feel like it's still there, but not nearly as harsh.
Yeah.
It's really smooth. Like I feel like you could, with Citra Holic, you could, enjoy a 16-ounce can, but with the Amalgamator, like you could probably just down that multiple times and not really be bothered.
I think what's odd too is like when I drink Citra Holic, they're both the same ABV. They're both 7.1, but I feel like I'm drinking something heavier, with Citra Holic. And that's very common, I guess, where you call a beer dangerous. Oh, this is 8%, but it tastes like it's 4%. And that's what this is. It's like I said, it's pretty much the same beer with a slightly different hop bill, and it completely changes my perspective on the beer, and it comes off more drinkable. It's the same ABV though.
I oftentimes get these beers at the same time. They tend to be released within a few weeks of each other. And I wonder if that's why in my head I think Citra Holic is a boozier beer, because it comes off a little bit harsher, where this beer is so much less harsh than Citra Holic. Not harsh, not that Citra Holic is unpleasant to drink, but it has kind of a bite or kind of a burn that comes with drinking alcohol, but this beer doesn't have it. It's just a lot smoother.
Yeah, and I think you can appreciate Citra Holic for having that bite and that edge to it. I mean, because again, I like really bitter beers. I'm a fan of West Coast IPA. They're just different, and that's what's interesting about it is like you get this experience with Citra Holic that's completely West Coast, like OG West Coast, where it's like harsh, it's bitter, kicks you in the mouth, it's really good, it's citrusy, it's awesome. And then Mosaic or Amalgamator is the same beer but mellow. Like it's just I don't know. It's really cool that it's the same recipe pretty much, but you get two different experiences.
If we get them on the show, we got to ask about the Brewers insider secrets on what's different in these beers.
Yeah, I would assume they're pretty similar as far as brewing goes. Like, I mean,
we don't know because we have the Brewers secrets.
Yeah, secret. I mean, I have the Brewers phone number. I could call them right now.
Can we get him on right now? Can we get him live?
Patch him live.
Ryan's
John Holder here. Yeah. Quick question.
John Holder for Brewers. Do you have a comment on? You have a comment on the allegations that these are the same goddamn beer with a different hop?
Just hold your phone up to the mic.
Beechwood has not responded.
They declined comment.
Suddenly, cease and desist from all Beechwood on the show.
Is this a beer that we all have right now?
I don't have it.
Oh, Greg doesn't have it, so he's quiet. Okay,
I'm still drinking my Citra Holic.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you guys, Jason and John, I feel like you pretty much covered the whole point of it. It's very similar, but again, like you said, the Citra Holic really feels heavier just because of the hop character in it and how it hits you harder.
Yeah,
I mean Citra Holic is so hoppy that it almost makes me sneeze. I mean, that says something about an IPA.
You're a weird guy, Greg. Beer makes you sneeze.
It's so hot. Like if you smell like flowers that are super floral and like you're just like, whoa,
that's pollen.
And then this beer is like hot pollen. There's this lupulin pollen just bursting out of the glass, dude.
What IPA has made you sneeze in the past?
A few, yeah, a few have. I don't know exactly what ones, but I'm like, whoa.
You're gonna out me as just being a fatty, but I mean, you guys see me, I'm a fat shit. But when I was a kid, I would be like, and I would have like just chocolate syrup. I would just be like, oh, have some chocolate syrup, and I would like drink it like from a bottle, and then immediately start sneezing.
Weird.
That's your body telling you to
it should be like that. Knock it off.
What the fuck?
That's your nose going. It's pumping the brakes.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, don't drink chocolate syrup, kids.
No,
I'm still
even
I'm still
sour
a fat
beers,
kid at heart, and I did the same thing when I was a kid. I would have cereal and put like 5 teaspoons of sugar in it
Same.
just to dig the sugar
Dude,
off the bottom
I
of the
would
bowl.
dredge it. Yeah,
but which
dredging
which
sugar.
cereal though?
Frosted
Well,
Flakes, bro.
I'm sure my parents are watching.
If it was like not sweet cereal like Cheerios or some shit, then yeah, like all the sugar you can.
I remember Cheerios more than anything else, and maybe it was Honey Nut. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was.
I did that for
All
sure.
sugar
Totally.
is super. All cereal is very sugar.
Well, okay. My point
yeah,
being like
although-
Cheerios versus fucking Cookie Crisp.
right.
Yeah, I
Raisin
never-
Bran was like, whoa, fucking.
If we got like Captain Crunch or like the junk cereals, it was very
shredding your
few and
mouth.
far between.
Oh my god, my cereal does not cut the roof of your mouth.
I feel like the sugar insanity in like the 90s was, or like the late 80s, early 90s was like nuts. I remember these like little squeeze tubes you could get, and it was literally just sugar gel. It was like, oh yeah, this is blue sugar gel, and you squeeze it and you just lick up the sugar gel, and
They
it's
still
like,
exist.
Yep.
They still exist.
no, where do you buy that? Off Ice Cream Man?
I
He's
mean,
the only
maybe.
guy.
I don't know, but I
Mexican markets.
I see kids at the park that have that shit. Well, I should say I did used to when we could go outside.
Being a kid, you just mainline sugar. You're just like, how much sugar do you have? You're like the guy from Men in Black. You're just like, give me sugar.
Sugar, water. I still
Egger stew.
I still do that.
Yeah, Pixie Sticks, somebody said in the chat, is basically just flavored sugar.
Yeah, they're just
Pixie
like,
Sticks.
sugar.
Love it.
Oh,
It's
man.
like he was wearing a suit and an egg.
Pastry stouts, liquid sugar.
Yeah, and honestly, and now I don't like all those sweets, which is why if I was still 12 years old, I would love all these slushy Berliner Weisses, but fucking here we are.
Here we are drinking,
I'm 59 years young now, so
what? I'm old Greg.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I like sweets, but when it comes to beer, if it's overly sweet, then it just does not
Can't do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
Cocktails.
Yeah.
Cocktails too.
Yeah, there's got to be
Wine.
like I'm in it for a certain bite.
I like beer, and I it's
down to
fun.
balance,
It's fun
though,
to
right?
taste those pastries and go, okay, I get it. Like that tastes like a coconut cookie or an oatmeal cookie or whatever. Whatever.
Sugar cookies.
Sugar cookie. Anyway, all right. Well, what do we want to drink last from El Segundo? I've got the Independent.
I have the independent.
I have the independent.
I got the Broken Skull IPA. Go,
All right.
get the Broken Skull. Say what?
I'm gonna get
What?
I'm gonna get the Independent. I'll be right back.
All right, I'll get Broken Skull. Oh hell yeah!
So what I've been doing these last few shows is I have a bucket with ice in it. I just put my beers in there.
That's awesome. Mine are just kind of sitting out, so this one's not as cool.
Here's my bucket of ice.
bucket of
That's a
ice.
really, really good idea. I should do that.
And my beers are sweaty cold coming out.
You guys, can I just buy a refrigerator to keep next to me in the
Can't you
studio?
just move? Can't you just move the other one to a corner
And then I could
near
just
you?
turn my body and get beer, and then yeah,
Why don't-
it's only like $100.
Why don't you just build a little tiny elevator for cans, and it'll just shoot it out the top for you?
Like a Home Depot like tube system where it's like thump.
Yeah, exactly. It comes right out of the fridge to the top, and you're just like, here it is.
So I just did a cuvee with my Citra Holic and my blurred lines because I needed glass.
Wait, hold on. What's up? A mix.
So I had my like half glass of blurred lines and I poured the other half of my Citra Holic in. Let's see how it tastes. It's actually really good. It softened up the edges of the Citra Holic. And there's still some of that nice mouthfeel of a semi-hazy.
I don't know if you guys can notice my red and blue light scheme happening. Like
Yep.
if you look at my hands.
we got it.
Yeah.
I like that it just looks like you wrapped your closet with neon tubing.
Yeah,
The
I
Rapture.
mean, it's the lights. You weren't here last weekend, Tim. I bought these. I I don't know if you saw the
You,
show.
you told me about it on Friday chat.
Oh, okay. Then, well, I was probably drunk. Never mind.
Rip.
They look cool. I think it's great.
They look better in person. Like, it looks very cool in here right now.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I decided I've been doing shows sitting on the floor, and I finally decided to like clear off my son's desk and set up on the desk. So I'm sitting in a chair for a change.
It looks like you have like an actual microphone stand, like a
I know.
boom arm.
And I was curious about the yellow wall washing, how much it was gonna like make me look all jaundiced and shit.
No, you look good.
Good.
You're a very attractive man, Tim.
Oh, jeez.
Some say you're a beautiful man.
You're very pretty.
Honestly,
I
you
don't know
look less yellow in comparison. Like there's yellow in the back, and you're like, oh, look at how white and healthy Tim looks.
Look at how pale. Look at how pale he is from not seeing the sun in 6 months.
Look at how gaunt and ghost-like,
Dude. You guys, I just started taking vitamin D the other day.
I
Like
bet
supplements.
you fucking did.
I did.
I feel like everyone needs to at
I'm
this
like,
point.
I don't go outside at all, so let me pop some vitamin D. Not dick, Jason.
Greg, all you have to do is go outside though for like 10 minutes. And
That's
you're
what my
good.
wife told me.
Go for a walk.
But I'm like, I can't play video games outside.
Jesus.
You guys have been taking the D all week, and I've never felt better.
Wow.
I'm kind of excited.
Fourth show.
I'm kind of excited for this one, John. This is
Okay,
like
so up
the only
next-
theme we've got for today.
Up next, we're drinking a beer from El Segundo called the Independent. And earlier I said we didn't have anything that was themed towards the birth of our nation. And I was wrong because we all bought, well, not all, three of us bought this beer from El Segundo. It's called the Independent. And this is a 6.8% American IPA made with Simcoe, Citra, Centennial, Amarillo, and El Dorado hops. So it's got all the hops. It's very diverse. It's very, I don't know. There's a lot happening in this beer, much like America. There's a lot
It's
happening.
very diverse.
It's very
You want to be
interesting.
independent? You drink the Texas Rattlesnakes, Broken Skull, IPA. Everyone else drinking their independent beer. I'm out here saying Broken Skull, go to whoop your ass. What? That's as long as I can keep up a Stone Cold impression.
It's
That's amazing.
it's scary how accurate that was. That was
That's
amazing.
good, man. I don't even watch wrestling, so it's good.
You know, it's funny. We should bring this up too. Like,
It-
Stone Cold drinks at El Segundo Brewing Company. Like that beer, it's a collab with Stone Cold, and he actually goes there and drinks
Yeah.
beer. Like, it's a real thing.
Does he break the can on his head?
I doubt it.
I would assume.
unless you
maybe
pay him
once,
like
surprise.
healthy.
This
Um,
Like when,
Yeah,
when
it
we get,
just
when
so
we get
happens
new
he's-
subs on Twitch, he's our little graphic that pops up like that says thank you. He's like
Ooh.
chugging beers.
This smells really good.
I did
Honestly-
have some of that when I went down to the brewery a couple weeks ago when I met Tim. Not like where I met Tim for the first time, but where I met up with Tim at the brewery. Yeah, I had some independent. It was really good.
When your eyes first locked on to each other, and then you're like, "So
For the first time in a long time. That song is not relevant to what you're talking about at all, but that's what I thought about. Great
it's
song.
got this nice candy. It's like hop candy on the nose, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's really good.
I'm going to be
It's-
honest with El Segundo. For me, they're maybe not lately, but for a while, I'll say, it was hit or miss with their IPAs, where it's like sometimes I'd get some D, sometimes I got this like kind of weird, earthy thing that just didn't vibe well with me, and that could just totally be like a me issue. But everything, I bought these beers yesterday, and I had some yesterday, and everything I've had so far has been spot on. Like they're I'm happy to see that, is what I'm saying. Like it's
Which is kind of like I think Jason's original idea for this week was a garage or gas station beers, but all of the gas stations in Orange County don't have good beers. So, I
think
so I'm
that's
like,
the
how
point.
about El Segundo? And I thought it was time we gave him another shot on the show. and really surprised and pleasantly surprised how delicious this beer is. And the other one, it's very like cotton candy. If that's like, it's a balanced cotton candy sort of character on the nose.
So when you say you're surprised and like happy, are you endorsing what I'm saying? Because
I think I got the same vibe. Like I've had some like hit or misses, over the last few years.
I'm not alone.
And I put them on the back burner of my repertoire of beers that I would buy.
That's crazy for me to hear, because I feel like if I see El Segundo, I buy it, and like they're an insta buy. I don't care what they're putting out. Like a hoppy El Segundo, it goes in my cart, and like again, I am almost never disappointed.
This is me speaking from I want to say 2 years ago. I got a bad batch of Broken Skull that was just D-bomb, like not da-bomb, but like a diacetyl bomb, dude. And it's not me hating on them. It was something in packaging. I don't know, but
I think that's what I think. The first couple batches they canned were a little off. I will go with you on that. The first couple canned batches of Broken Skull were a little dodgy, but I think they dialed it in pretty quick.
And my comment wasn't necessarily speaking towards just diacetyl. It was their choices on like hop selection and how they're brewing their beers and making the recipes. It didn't vibe with me. It wasn't so much that they were bad beers because they had flaws, but they just didn't appeal to me. And so my point is, lately, I feel like they're working things out and making them more appealing to the masses, I think. And that's where I'm coming from. That's all. And it's a personal taste thing, I think. But yeah, the early canning days with El Segundo were kind of rough.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, hold on. Sorry about that. I can't speak to like the canning because I actually think this is probably the first time I've had El Segundo in cans. Majority of what I had was in either bombers or regular 12-ounce bottles. But El Segundo, like when I first just realized that they existed, I was all for it. And I went to the brewery a few times. I picked it up when I saw it. But then at some point, like I'd say many years ago, I don't know, they just kind of like, I feel like for me, they took a little bit of a backseat to other sort of like trendier things, if you will. And I realize now that was probably a mistake. Because even though like a lot of the El Segundo beers, it was a mistake
that they took a back seat, or in your head, or
it was a mistake for me to put them in the back seat. I should
Got it.
clarify.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of the stuff that they made was you had it and you saw it around, and I realized how douchey it sounds, but like if you see a beer around all the time, then you're like, it's around all the time. That's not so cool. So like, I fully admit that I did that. And I definitely, regret that, because this is bringing up a lot of memories of the stuff that I have had from El Segundo, and it's always been pretty solid.
And I think that kind of goes in line with what I'm saying, because I kind of agree with you where like I had some bad experiences with some of their IPAs where it's like, okay, that didn't vibe well with me. I'm just not going to get that right now, like, whatever. And then going back and actually buying the beers again, you can see that they've, I don't know, at least in my head, it seems like they've changed some things up as far as recipes go. And it's like, okay, I'm going to put them more on the at the front of my head when I'm at a bottle shop. I'm gonna probably buy their beer more now, and that's just how it works with breweries. Like they do things, and it's an ebb and flow kind of thing. Like, they're one of those breweries that's always on the shelf that I do overlook, and I have to remind myself these guys are local. I need to support them. I can't go to El Segundo every weekend and buy beer from them, but I can spend $12 on a 6-pack. Every other week. I don't know, maybe.
Well, and you won't be disappointed with that 6-pack either.
Yeah.
Remember they had like a day one dankness thing where you can go get like super duper duper fresh beer. Like it was delivered like 4:00 in the morning or something that day.
Awesome tagline.
That was, there's nobody in the world that strived for extremely fresh beer. I mean, Stone did it, but I think El Segundo perfected it as far as the local markets.
Yeah. They'd bottle a beer and you could buy it on the shelf, like 4 hours later. It's fucking crazy.
And I feel
Lagunitas kind of tried to do a little bit of that with a born yesterday thing.
born yesterday, yeah.
They did like throughout the state, I think. Pretty fresh, like beer that was literally like a day or two old when you got it. But I think we've talked about it on the show. What we learned with day one dankness is like they're better after like a week.
Yeah, for sure.
Like day one bottling is good, but like they start that's like 80% and it kind of goes to 100 over the next week or two, and then it starts falling off again.
I think once you have a decent bottling line or canning line that rules out the whole day. Once your dissolved oxygen and your packaging is down to a certain level, it doesn't matter how fresh you're getting the beer. Like if it's like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I think is sort of the sweet spot in my mind of where an IPA is like, ripe for the picking, but
anything less than a month old, I'm like, yeah, this is super good.
Easy buy. Yeah.
I feel like it's also safe to say too that El Segundo isn't a trend chaser. They don't come across as people trying to like keep up with the hottest thing. They they do really nice, solid West Coast IPAs, and the outliers from that are all also very solid, but they're not necessarily like you're not getting like these crazy weird pastry stouts or adjuncts or weird flavors or hazies. Like
they
yeah, they have a wheelhouse and they have perfected it, and I like when breweries do that because it's like
I think
the quality you're gonna get.
I think it's really dangerous to be a trend chaser brewery because like and this isn't to say that they were a trend chaser, right? But like look at the brewery, right? They were very trendy and very the in thing, right? And then a couple years later, they weren't. And like, if you don't have a core market of regular stuff that isn't reliant on the like hype beer nerds coming at you, then like you're fucked. Like, there's a lot of breweries that were super hot 5 years ago that like nobody gives a shit about anymore. If you're following the trader whales scene.
Yeah, right. As far as the trader whales scene, but the brewery also sold a big portion of their company to a major investor, and Patrick Rue, I'm pretty sure, is sitting pretty at this point and doesn't have anything to worry about.
Well, he's got his own winery, but
sure, but they're still doing trends.
Stuff.
Like they have offshoot that they, I think, cleverly opened up to allow them to chase those trends as far as current trends go. But definitely, Jason, you're right. They did chase those, barrel aged trends.
Well,
they were.
I don't know if they even chased it as much as they created it, right? But it's a cautionary tale. Like a beer like Black Tuesday is a good cautionary tale, which is to say, like, you've got the most popular beer in the world. In 5 years, that may not mean shit. Like nobody cares about Black Tuesday now. Like,
but how many does John have?
I care about Black Tuesday. I like Black Tuesday
beer.
What's the count? How many?
I'm sure. Literally, I probably have 40 bottles of different variants in my.
But Black Tuesday. How many Black Tuesdays?
Yeah, baby.
But I'm still gonna keep buying new ones. I mean, it's a beer that I enjoy.
I have 2 cases myself,
but I'm not gonna buy a case of it. That's all.
No, I have things.
You guys are saying because you're just talking shit on me, and that's
just a little bit.
Talk over all you guys.
No, I mean it's one of those beers that like I bought with the intention of like enjoying with my daughter when she's 21. It's one of those beers that will stand the test of time. I opened up a 2010 not too long ago, and it was delicious. So 10 years and no oxidation, still just as good as it was, maybe even better than I had it back then. So good on them for making it. We'll see how they stand up.
So overall with these beers, I think, if you're local to SoCal, I mean, if wherever you're at, go to your local breweries, not to consume on premise because I highly discourage that. But if you can pick something up for, curbside or, take out, go to a bottle shop, buy a 6-pack, buy a 4-pack, like do what you can because local beer, is what matters.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
what we're focusing on. I think, we were kind of scattershot, like when we started doing this thing online, recording online. And I really think, especially since things don't seem to be getting better as far as businesses having to close down and the infection rates and stuff. It's more important now than ever before to support local as much as you can, and I think we're going to focus on that too. So El Segundo and Beechwood, you can't really go wrong.
Agreed.
Bam.
Bam. I have an idea for next week, you guys.
All right, what?
So I bought a 4-pack of Allagash White, and I think it'd be fun to do an Allagash show.
We just okay. New England.
Yeah, I'm down.
I mean, they're great, so you can buy them anywhere. You mentioned saving our shit differently. What are we doing?
Good question. I should have done some research before I said that. Try saving it as a wave. It's going to be way, way larger as a file. But I think it'll take just a little bit longer to upload on your guys' end.
I can also export as OGG.
See, OGG was the format that's recommended by. Try OGG.
I'm gonna do Wave first.
Do both. Let's try, just as an experiment. Do OGG and then also do Wave.
How do you want me to encode that Wave, my friend?
Just raw, buddy.
44.1.
Well, there's signed 16-bit, 24-bit, 32-bit.
Shit, I don't know. Hang on.
16 or 32 is probably fine. If you're doing like an orchestra or something, I could see doing 24-bit, but just audio.
44 kilohertz on the sampling rate, it should be okay.
16-bit PCM is probably.
Yeah.
Now, with the OGG, do you want a quality of 10?
We don't know.
Default. Well, I'm going to save it as a quality 10 instead of a quality 5.
Do you even know what OGG stands for?
It's Ogg Vorbis or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Just check.
I remember when that format came out.
You do?
I had no fucking clue what it was, but people were all up on it, like the audio files.
There's a website you can go to where it's like, if you have a guest on your show, send them here so they know how to set up their broadcast and record. And they recommend saving as OGG, but that's the first place I ever heard of OGG. I don't even know. I'm sure Logic supports it, and the iPad app I use supports it. But I've never used it.
The OGG came out back when Tech TV was a thing.
Yeah. Wow.
And
I like the good old days.
Oh yeah, no, I watched the shit out of Tech TV. That's when I got my first hard on for Kevin Rose.
Oh, totally.
Do you watch Dignation, or did you watch Dignation?
Oh yeah, I watched Dignation all the time. And then he went down the health route and kind of went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah. I was more of an Olivia Munn person.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay.
Oh God, yeah. When she was, what was the show? Attack of the Show.
Yeah. Oh dear God.
What a great fucking show that was. Oh my God.
What was that? What was the show that was like with the spiky blonde hair dude?
That's Adam Sessler, right?
Yeah, is that who that was? Yeah, that name sounds so
that is right.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Dignation and Attack of the Show. Oh, put it in my fucking veins, dude. So good.
I didn't really watch that stuff. I did one time when I went to PAX the first time. All the Attack of the Show people were there, so it was like Adam Sessler and not Olivia Munn, the other chick that was on the channel, Morgan Webb.
Yeah.
They were at the airport with me when I flew to Seattle for PAX.
That's cool.
Wow. Yeah, we were in the same airport bar. I didn't go say anything because I was like, I know who they are, but I don't know their shows.
So Morgan Webb, can you sign my boob?
What?
Morgan Webb is extremely beautiful.
Yes.
You know what's funny? The big thing I always saw online is people kind of made fun of her for being thick or something, and she was extremely petite, super super tiny. I saw her in real life. I was like, oh yeah, she's super petite, but just not the exact proportions of Kristen Bell. So apparently
people suck. Give me a break. God damn.
Hey, John, just an FYI, like a wave is about 800 meg.
I know.
Okay, just making sure. I'll upload
And
it. I
somehow
don't care.
it takes longer to export than an MP3, even though it's not.
I know, right?
Um,
I'm popping up a wave and an OGG for you. So
Popping up a wave,
And
baby.
let me know the difference in file size too.
it's 800 versus 250, I think. It's like
That's not bad.
880 for a wave and like 250 for the OGG.
Okay, so let's upload both. I know
Yeah, I
it
know.
might take more time, but I just want
That's
to,
fine.
because I notice artifacting happening after I run it through Logic and then run it through my iPad app and then run it back through Logic. Jason and Greg have like a lot of, it sounds like kind of underwaterish kind of thing happening, like where it's, kind of, you hear like little artifact thing happening. It's very subtle, but I notice it. So if we can find something a little better than MP3, I know Wave is the extreme, but OGG might also work.
Yeah, and we're wrapping up right now. Yeah, just a couple minutes.
Is that the kiddo?
Yeah,
What happened? Okay, so
There's
there's my
also-
wave.
cats everywhere. I'll let you know, John, just editing us. I turned my mic off a few times with the switch here, and when it clicked back on, there might be a couple of clicks on my track.
It's okay.
So I apologize.
It's fine. I see all that stuff and it's easy. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
So my wave is up. What else you need?
always be scared.
We're gonna upload the
of
wave
all
and the
right
OGG
now.
file.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
Greg.
okay.
Man, if we're like if we're going down nostalgia path, like back in the day with like Leo Laporte and him being on Tech TV, that was like my intro to hardware.
Yeah, he's still very influential too. Like Tech TV is, or the Twit network itself is still like huge. I mean, yeah.
Gregory
Alright, guys.
Bagley.
I'm gonna take
Looks
off.
like
I'll keep uploading
it
those
looks like
files.
there's 5
Okay, Tim.
Allagash beers available for me.
There's what?
There's 5 available locally.
5 what?
Allagash beers, River Trip, white in 9 different formats. Kiryu, triple, and barrel and bean.
The only place
Nice.
I know to get Allagash is at Gerard's for me. So
I mean, the beers they're not hoppy, so they're going to be pretty decent.
Yeah, at least we don't have to worry about freshness.
I'm down
So
for it.
happy.
Organic Belgian pale ale. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, they sound good. There's like a saison that they have in a can or something.
I can't get that, but
Yeah, I haven't looked.
I got River Trip. Oh, it's a saison
sounds good.
farmhouse ale. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That looks good.
Yeah, there we go. They're all 4-packs, so it'll be like a $100 show. But whatever.
River Chip is really good. It's a very
really
simple
good,
beer,
yeah.
but it's it's basically what you would expect from Allagash, making a very simple beer. It's delicious.
I suggested Boulevard, so it's my fault this beer sucked. Ugh.
Because you got Hoppy Boulevard.
What's all they had?
It's not Boulevard's fault. It's the liquor store's fault.
I had a Firestone that was the same age, and it wasn't nearly as fucking fallen off. So,
Well, okay.
Sometimes you get a bull.
Sometimes you get the Vard.
I just said that to somebody in one of my other beer chats because they're talking about Fantome. And it's like, yep, sometimes you get the fan, sometimes you get the tome.
That's the best one. It really is.
The tomb. Well, so I uploaded all my shit and I'm good. I'm gonna
Where's
go
the
party.
what's
Hey-
the fucking folder that we upload things
Hey,
to?
Greg.
God damn it.
Are you in
Yeah,
the
bud.
Are you in the Goon Beer Discord?
No.
You should join, man. Seems like you're seen. You like Discord? You like beer? You like goons?
The Goons.
Gens. Fucking
The Gins. Fucking
There it
Gins.
is. God damn it.
Well, send me an invite and
I'm gonna.
it'll be another Discord that I ignore.
That's right. No, it's actually not bad. It's like the pace is manageable and
Hey, Goons.
All right, so I've got July 4 Nagel, Wave. July
There's
4
OGG.
Nagel Og is coming up. It's not there yet, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I uploaded it. It should be good.
And then Jason, I have nothing.
I'm
yet.
still exporting.
Okay.
It's because
I
it's
exported it.
AMD.
No, it's because I'm exporting it in the old format too, just in case.
Oh, I thought you had AMD.
Good call.
No, I have the i9 that you gave me.
Oh, that's true. Never mind.
You know who gave me my? You know who supplied my processor? You, Greg Nagel. You
That's the
motherfucker.
same
Oh, your
CPU.
fault.
It's a good CPU. Not gonna lie. It's nowhere near as good as my i7 6950 was. That completely
Nice.
fried my kid's computer, but
6950. Nice.
my God, for exporting video and stuff, it was like 10 times faster than this i9.
Really?
Dude,
Huh.
it's 24 cores. It's like bing, done. You're like,
I'm getting,
dang.
I'm getting my new iPad on Friday. I'm pretty stoked.
I will say this. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, John.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. You guys don't care. Go ahead.
So I'm getting my
That
new
new
iPad.
iPad's gonna be a MacBook soon.
Pretty much, yeah. I got the 12.9, so I got a 13-inch MacBook iPad. Picking up the Magic Keyboard with the trackpad and everything tomorrow at the Apple Store in Temecula. I just got my new Apple Pencil, the second version. Comparing that to the first version, oh my God. Like, it's so good. It's almost as light as a number 2 pencil. The first version has this weird cap thing on it that comes off to expose like a lightning connector to charge it. The second one just like magnetically attaches to the iPad and charges like inductively. And it feels fantastic. It's got like a matte finish. This one has like a glossy finish, which doesn't feel great.
In your butt.
In my pee hole. But yeah,
How is it for sounding?
What?
Sounding's when you put stuff up your dick hole.
Oh, that's called sounding?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, today you learned. Search for that on Pornhub.
So if you ever go to a tech conference and there's a microphone and a line of people, like you want to get in line and ask them, how is this via sounding?
Vis-a-vis sounding. How does this work?
How's
So,
the feel? How's the feel?
but yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it because the only thing I'm using my MacBook Pro for right now is processing your guys' audio to get rid of noise, which that's not like a dig on you guys. It's just a thing that I'm going to do.
I mean, it is 4th of July and my neighbors are very excited.
Well, just like background noise, like
Fireworks.
Jason, I think if like, I'm not going to tell you to like blow a fan into the microphone, but if you wanted to run a fan, you probably could. And I could.
stopped turning my fan off 3 weeks ago.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why I'm using so it's perfect. Keep doing what you're doing then. You're fine.
Yep.
Um,
It's too
So
goddamn hot. It's
yeah,
100
like I
degrees
said,
here.
it goes from the MacBook to my iPad where I do all of the individual track editing, and then back to the MacBook to do like the compression and everything that I paid hundreds of dollars for that. So
So I'm uploading the MP3, OGG, and WAV exports of my audio. So play with them as you see fit.
cool.
Have a good
well,
fourth.
Are we ending this?
If you put an
Yep.
Apple Pencil in your dick hole, what would happen on the screen on your iPad?
Nothing. You have to touch this fucking.
What if you,
So you got to put it in backwards so that you could be like,
you have to use your penis on the iPad?
Hi, Mom. My mom watches these.
Hi, Mom.
well,
the best part.
you don't have an Apple Pencil in your dick hole, I'm sure.
Currently, I don't. I don't.
Not at this moment.
But if I put it in backwards, at least the second generation won't have the cap like be abandoned inside of my dick hole because there's no cap. So
Well, what if you docked it with another gentleman who is also an Apple enthusiast?
oh god.
It's like jet fuel, you know.
I
Jet
fucking
fuel
love the iPad Pro. Oh, it's sick.
Anyway,
And makes like a spirograph drawing that you then sell at a gallery.
like that.
And with that, we're going to end this broadcast.
Bye, everybody.
Brew the shit
Bye,
out of it.
Beagle. Thanks, Beagle. Love you, bro. Indie beer.